Hi, you guys. Happy Monday. I am going to be reading you guys a story this week, and we're going to go through some questions together. And even though I can't hear your responses, I still want you guys, when I ask a question, to tell me the answer that you think. And we will be talking about this story throughout the whole week. So today, we're just going to read the story, and I'm going to ask you guys some questions about it, like we would normally do on a Monday. So I hope everybody had a great weekend and you're ready to get ready to learn with me. So, like we would always do, sit up big and tall. Make sure your back's nice and straight. Hey, make sure your hands are in a good listening position so you don't want to play with anything. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So, we're reading a story today called Peter's Chair. And it is written, the author is Ezra Jack Keats, and he is also the illustrator. So I want you to try to remember what the author does. What does the author do? The author writes the story, and I want you to try to remember what the illustrator does. The illustrator draws the pictures. That's right. So in this story, Ezra Jack Keats did both. So this is an older story. It was written a long time ago, but it's still relevant today. That means it still relates to the things that we might feel today. So this story is called Peter's Chair. That's the title. So what do we call this part of the book? The front or the cover. What do we call this part of our book? The back. And what holds all those pages together? The spine. So before we begin, just by looking at the picture, I want you to make some predictions about what you see here first and what you think this story might be about. So I'm going to make it a little bit closer for you. Okay, who do you see? What do you see? And then ask yourself, what could this story be about? So remember, when we make a prediction, it doesn't have to be right? We're just taking a good guess using the pictures off the cover to try to figure out what the story might be about. So we don't want to make random guesses like, I think this story is about Disneyland, right? Obviously, it's not about Disneyland. There's no good pictures to make us think that he would be going to Disneyland. So we want to really make sure we're making guesses or predictions that relate to what we see. So I see a little boy, okay, and I see that he's looking at some things. Okay, he's looking at, looks like a toy alligator, a chair. Looks like there's a picture of a baby over here. I don't know who that baby is. There's also a bag. Okay. So I might make a guess and say, my prediction is this little boy wants to sell these things. I don't really know, so I got to read to find out. So whatever your prediction is, think about it in your head as we're reading and see if your prediction was right. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and open up our story. We have our table of contents because there's two stories in this book today, but we're just going to read the story on page 4, Peter's Chair. See if I can get all that in the video there. It's kind of hard to see. All right. Peter stretched as high as he could. There, his tall building was finished. What do you notice in this picture? What's Peter doing? Who else do we see in the picture? We see his dog. Okay. Crash! Down it came. Shh, called his mother. You'll have to play more quietly. Remember, we have a new baby in the house. What happened? What's that word, crash? What does that mean? Take a look at the picture. What did the dog do? Look at Peter. How is he feeling? What does Peter's mom tell him? Who do we learn is new in their family? So Peter has a new baby in the house, which means he is a new brother. Do you have a brother or sister at home? Do you remember when they came home? Or were you the new baby, or were they the new baby? If you were the older brother or the older sister, they would have been the new baby. So Peter has a new baby in the home. And I wonder how he's feeling about that. Peter looked into his sister Susie's room. His mother was fussing around the cradle. That's my cradle, he thought, and they painted it pink. Ugh. What do you think Peter is feeling now? Whose cradle was this? What's a cradle used for? When a baby sleeps, they normally sleep inside of a cradle. Peter, his sister, is now using the cradle. Can Peter use the cradle anymore? Why not? Hi, Peter, said his father. Would you like to help paint Sister's high chair? It's my high chair, whispered Peter. Whose high chair is this? What is Father doing to the high chair? Why do you think he's doing that? How do you think Peter feels about his high chair being changed for his sister? I wonder. He saw his crib and muttered, "My crib's painted pink too." Not far away stood his old chair. "They didn't paint that yet," Peter shouted. What did they paint that was Peter's? Is Peter still using the crib? What did Peter spot that they have not painted yet? The chair. I wonder what Peter's going to do with his chair. He picked it up and ran to his room. Who's going with him? "Let's run away, Willie," he said. Peter filled a shopping bag with cookies and dog biscuits. "We'll take my blue chair and my toy crocodile and the picture of me when I was a baby." Willie got his bone. So what is Peter going to do now? He has a plan. Why do you think he wants to run away? I wonder. They went outside and stood in front of his house. "This is a good place," said Peter. He arranged his things very nicely and decided to sit in his chair for a while. Did Peter run far away? No, he just went outside of his house. What is he going to do next? Uh-oh, he couldn't fit in his chair. He was too big. His mother came to the window and called, "Won't you come back to us, Peter dear? We have something very special for lunch." Peter and Willie made believe that they didn't hear. But Peter got an idea. Why does Peter's mom ask him to come back to them? What do you think Peter's feeling now? Can you make a prediction about what he's going to do next? What is his idea? Soon, his mother saw signs that Peter was home. That rascal is hiding behind the curtains, she said happily. Why does she think he's hiding behind the curtains? What do you see? I see Peter's feet there. She moved the curtain away, but he wasn't there. Here I am, shouted Peter. Where was Peter hiding? Why do you think he played a trick on his mom? Peter sat in a grown-up chair. His father sat next to him. Daddy, said Peter, let's paint the little chair pink for Susie. This is what we call the turning point in the story. Something has changed. What has changed? Why do you think Peter changed his mind? And they did. Is Peter helping Father now? Can you take a second to think about how you felt when some of your favorite things get taken? How do you feel? If you have a younger brother or a younger sister, can you think about your favorite toy and how you would feel if you had to give it to them? What do you think is a good word to describe how Peter is feeling? I think a good word is the word jealous. Have you ever felt jealous before? Jealous is when you really are feeling upset on the inside because maybe somebody is being treated in a different way than you feel like you're being treated, and it makes you want to feel or get those same things too. So for Peter, he really wants to keep all of his things. His parents keep giving them to Susie. Can Peter still use those things that they're giving to him? No. Peter has gotten far too big to use his chair and his crib and his cradle. So Peter's feeling jealous, but he can't even use those things anymore. So maybe Peter is jealous because there's a new baby in the house, and he wants that same attention that that new baby is getting. Do you ever feel jealous when your mommy or daddy spend time with your brother or your sister? It's okay to feel jealous. In Peter's situation, he learned a better way to handle that. Maybe you can think of a time where you felt jealous and think about how you handled it. Could you have done a better job? Could you have done something differently? As we read this story this week, we're going to do some thinking maps together, and we are going to really try to figure out some reasons why Peter did what he did in the story. So tomorrow I'll post another video and we'll be brainstorming some ideas. Think about what map we might use for that. Bye, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.